Hey to everyone out there watching, it's JT from Keystone Crew Outdoors. Welcome back to the show. Picks might be a little different this time around. The rough water delay in Champlain pushed everything back a day or so. So there wasn't many articles to go off of or videos to go off for the power ranking. So I just kind of did with my past experiences with having gone up to the St. Lawrence and different anglers that it might match up with there. But before we get into all that, let's look at the Champlain results for Rapala Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing. If you had a perfect roster, it would have looked like this from buckets A through E. You had Koya Fujita finished first, Matt Robertson finished 10th, Cody Huff finished 3rd, Justin Atkins finished 2nd, and Jacob Fouts finished 8th. Here's a rundown of how my gut picks fared. Not great this time around. Austin Felix kind of saved the day coming in 9th. Only 3 anglers in the top 30 out of my gut picks. The research picks, if you went with my top ranked anglers from there, power rankings were only a little bit better. Once again, 3 anglers in the top 30. Bucket A power rankings, we had 2 top 10s. In the Bucket B power rankings, we were terrible. Despite the hammers we had ranked, our best finish in Bucket B was an 18th place. We had 2 anglers in the top 20 in Bucket C. In Bucket D, we had 4 out of the 5 in the top 30. And finally, Bucket E, only 1 in the top 10. Micah Frazier was a dud, finishing 100th. So not so great there either. Tough tournament. Drain the Lake was also a huge letdown this past week. I saved some of these guys for the Northern Swing, specifically for Champlain and the St. Lawrence, and my highest finisher was 27th this week. So not great, not really what you want in Drain the Lake. Winning weight was 86 pounds, 12 ounces. We had 79.3, so we were a little low there. Now that that's all said and done, let's look at the Keystone Crew leaderboard for Rapala Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing. And the leaderboard for Mercury Bassmaster Drain the Lake Challenge. Those of you who like and subscribe to the channel, thank you for your continued support. I really appreciate it. It was our group's biggest season yet for fantasy fishing, and we can't wait to be back next year and hopefully make it even bigger and better. I also hope to get more content out during the off season as well, maybe attract a few more people into the channel and to our group. I think we had 42 for fantasy fishing and 40 for Drain the Lake, so much bigger than the 12 people, 13 people we had last year. Now on to the St. Lawrence River, Clayton, New York, from August 24th through the 27th, 2023. Containing the Thousand Islands, the St. Lawrence River is a large river in the middle latitudes of North America. Its headwaters begin flowing from Lake Ontario in a roughly northeasterly direction into the Gulf of St. Lawrence, connecting the American Great Lakes to the North Atlantic Ocean. The river traverses the Canadian provinces of Ontario and Quebec, as well as the U.S. state of New York, and is part of the international boundary between the U.S. and Canada. It also provides the foundation for the commercial St. Lawrence Seaway. Last year's stretch of calm, sunny weather set the stage for smallmouth history. Jay Przekurat and Corey Johnson both had bags that were over 100 pounds. Lake Ontario was in play in that tournament due to the conditions. The early reports are saying the wind will be a deciding factor here. Rough waters expected for Thursday and Friday of the tournament, so maybe it'll be a combination of the St. Lawrence River and Lake Ontario. I expect another smallmouth slugfest either way. I was up there a few times this summer, and we did pretty well up there, and we're not pros, so I expect them to really crush it. All right, the reason you're all watching, here's the picks. First, my gut picks. These are the guys that I pick when the buckets are released. No research, just different guys I like or have a hunch about. Bucket A, I've got Jay Przekurat, 43.3% owned. Bucket B, Chris Johnston, 39.6% owned. Bucket C, Taco Ito, 45.2% owned. Bucket D, Keith Combs, 4.0% owned. And Bucket E, Chad Pipkins, 39.3% owned. Research picks. All right, these aren't really research picks this time around because there wasn't much to go off of. So I went with different anglers that I know have good history there, or the very few articles and stuff I could find. I went and I power ranked them there. There are some parallels between my gut picks and the actual research picks this time around. Bucket A, I've got Jay Przekurat, 43.3% owned. Cooper Gallant, 18.1% owned. Stetson Blaylock, 1.5% owned. Joey Cifuentes, 6.6%. And Koya Fujita, 11.9%. I don't know how you could go against Joey or Koya in there. My pick, though, matches up with the research pick. They're both going to be Jay Przekurat for that, the returning champion with over 100 pounds there last year. Smallmouth angler, I don't know how you go against them. Bucket B was kind of a tough bucket. Lots of good guys in here. I was really hoping the Johnson brothers would be split up, but I've got Chris Johnston, Corey Johnston, Austin Felix, Jason Christie, and Brandon Palnick. My pick and the research pick are both Chris Johnston, though, at that 39.6% owned. On to bucket C. Once again, a couple guys that I was hoping would be in different buckets, but they weren't, so here they are for my rankings. We've got Taco Ito with 45.2%, followed by Jonathan Kelly, got to represent Northeastern Pennsylvania, with that 0.5% owned. Scott Martin, 1.0%. Seth Feider, 9.8%. And Caleb Summerall with 0.4%. My pick and the crew's research pick, though, match up again in this bucket with Taco Ito at that 45.2%. Bucket D, I've got Chris Zaldane with 19%, followed by Jacob Fouts, who is really making a run here late in the season with 21.3%. Keith Combs with 4% owned. Matty Wong, 2.1%. He's got a little bit of experience up on the St. Lawrence, fishing it with Jonathan Kelly. And Alex Redwine, 28.2% owned. My pick, though, is Keith Combs, 4.0% owned. And the crew's pick is Chris Zaldane at 19% owned. Bucket E, we've got Caleb Koopfall, 15% owned, followed by Chad Pipkins, 39.3%. Alex Wetherill, 6.1%. Bradley Hallman, 3.2%. And Todd Outen with 0.6%. My pick, though, was Chad Pipkins, 39.3% owned, and the crew's pick is Caleb Koopfall with 15.0% owned. Tie-breaking weight. Last year we had multiple anglers push that 100 mark. 2 went over the century mark there with the full bags of smallmouth. I'm going a little bit lower than that this time around just because I've been up there. And I caught a lot of heavy fish, but the last time I went up a couple weeks ago was really tough. But maybe that fall bite's starting now. I don't really know. But I'm going with 97 pounds, 9 ounces for the tie-breaking weight. Recap, my gut picks. Bucket A, Jay Przekurat. Bucket B, Chris Johnston. Bucket C, Taco Ito. Bucket D, Keith Combs. And Bucket E, Chad Pipkins. Research picks. Bucket A, Jay Przekurat. Bucket B, Chris Johnston. Bucket C, Taco Ito. Bucket D, Chris Zaldane. And Bucket E, Caleb Koopfall. So buckets are pretty similar there. On to Mercury Drain the Lake. Lastly, Drain the Lake. Elimination survival style game where you can only use the angler once all season. So if you saved anybody, you have to use them now. Last event, so it should be very easy for you guys. I've got Brandon Card, Joey Cifuentes, Taco Ito, Chris Johnston, Corey Johnston, Brandon Palnick, Luke Palmer, and Jay Przekurat. That'll wrap it up for the St. Lawrence and sadly the 2023 Elite Series. It's coming to a close with this event. Good luck to everyone out there in the last event of the season. Thank you again for making this season of fantasy fishing our biggest yet, with the 42 members in the Keystone Crew Fantasy Fishing Group and 40 players in the Keystone Crew Drain the Lake group. Look forward to next year, hopefully getting some content up in the off season. As always, I'll catch you next time.